Hey guys, tonight we fold. You're standing in a dim Victorian scullery, your fingers wrinkled from boiling water, the air thick with steam and soot. Outside, soot from chimneys drifts like a slow snowfall over the cobblestones, and inside, you're elbow-deep in linens the color of fog. The air smells of starch, ash, and the vague sourness of old wool drying too close to the fire. You probably won't survive this, not because the laundry is cursed, but because your lungs might give out first. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. Drop a comment with your city and what time you're listening. It's always fun to see who else is up folding history with us. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. The year is 1885, and you're 23 years old with permanently red knuckles. Your day starts before sunrise because laundry doesn't wash itself, and neither does the chamber pot, but we'll ignore that for now. The scullery is damp, not in the cozy rain on a window sort of way, but in the why is there mold growing on my apron kind of way. You heave a heap of white linens onto a warped wooden table. Each one smells faintly of coal smoke, and each one has to be folded just right. If you leave a crease, the mistress will notice. She always notices. Folding laundry back then isn't just a task, it's practically performance art. You smooth each sheet as if it's a royal scroll. Pressing down with your palms, using body weight and a wooden roller, you tame it into sharp-edged obedience. No one's invented steam irons yet, those come later, bless them, but for now it's muscle, heat, and prayer. The concept of domestic perfection rules your day. Households compete over who can stack sheets most neatly. There are published etiquette books that dictate how napkins should be folded. Yes, napkins. Historians still argue whether this obsession came from actual hygiene concerns or just deeply repressed social anxiety. Your fingers are sore, and every wrinkle you miss is an act of domestic treason. Outside the scullery window, a child sells roasted chestnuts. You smell them and remember you haven't eaten. Your own apron is stained, but you're folding lace tablecloths you'll never get to eat on. Now, here's something weird. Victorian women sometimes used crushed blue glass, called laundry blue, to make their whites seem whiter. Sound safe? It's not. It's full of Prussian blue pigment, and if you overdo it, your sheets turn slightly radioactive looking. You, of course, overdid it. The mistress is not amused. As you fold, you dream of escape. Somewhere the Industrial Revolution is clanking along and machines are slowly replacing human effort, but not here, not yet. Here, everything folds by hand and you are the machine. There's gossip that a wealthy merchant has installed a mangle in his kitchen, a terrifying contraption of rollers and cranks meant to squeeze laundry flat. You've seen it once. It looks like a medieval torture device that got invited to a tea party. You fold a petticoat. You fold a second petticoat. By the third one, you start naming them just to stay sane. This is Margaret. She's a little wrinkly but still elegant. You laugh to yourself. The sound echoes oddly in the stone-walled room, and you wonder when you last spoke to someone who didn't own you. The one bright spot in your routine is the laundry line outside. The way sheets flap in the wind is oddly therapeutic. It's like they're escaping, just for a moment, dancing on the breeze. You fold as the sun rises, casting gold streaks on your waterlogged world. The rooster crows. You hate him. Later, upstairs, the lady of the house will glide through rooms filled with your folded handiwork and never once think of your hands. She'll smooth the napkin and complain about the draft. You'll be downstairs folding again, this time tiny lace handkerchiefs that look like they were made to mock you. There's a whisper among the servants that in America, women are starting to hire out laundry entirely, to Chinese laundries specifically. It's controversial, of course, everything involving immigrants is, but it sparks a tiny flame of hope. Maybe one day you'll fold less. Maybe one day machines will do this. You fold into the night. No light bulbs here, just a single oil lamp flickering like it's thinking of quitting. The heat from the boiler warms your back but makes your skin itch. A mouse skitters along the wall, bold in the darkness. You name him too. George, don't eat the soap again. Here's a fringe tidbit for you. Some Victorians believed washing and folding clothes could cleanse not just the body, but the soul. There are recorded sermons where clergy insist women earn moral virtue through laundry. Try not to roll your eyes too hard. And yet, despite the rough cloth, the endless steam, the cracked fingers, there's an odd peace in this. In the folds, the creases, the neat stacks of cloth you'll never sleep on. It's quiet work, private work, and sometimes, when everything else feels out of your control, folding is something that bends to your will. You pause. Outside the bells toll 9 times, 1 for each hour you've been folding. Your back aches. You imagine a future where shirts come folded right out of the store, perfectly packaged, never touched by human suffering. You chuckle softly, not knowing that your great-grandchildren will iron t-shirts they never needed to wear. But for now, there's one more handkerchief to fold. You lift it carefully, smooth it with a practiced swipe, and fold. Corner to corner, crease to crease. You place it on the stack. The pile stands like a soft monument to your unseen labor. Tomorrow, you'll do it again. You blink, and the world has changed. Now it's 1916. You're still folding laundry, but this time, your apron is stitched from wartime cotton, coarser and thinner than you remember. The sun barely creeps through blackout curtains. There's a muffled thump in the distance, artillery practice at the edge of town. Folding isn't just a chore anymore. It's an act of control in a world unraveling like a worn-out sock. You are folding for a family of 6, but 3 are away at war. Their uniforms lie in a basket by the hearth, mud-caked, heavy, and fraying at the seams. You scrub them in lye water strong enough to sting your hands raw, then hang them on the line with wooden pegs that creak like old knees. The wind snaps the clothes with military precision. Once dry, you bring them inside and fold each piece slowly, methodically, like it's the last clean shirt they'll ever wear. The towels are ration thin. The socks have more holes than thread. You patch, you fold, you pretend the worst won't happen. The house smells of yeast, starch, and fear. Laundering during World War I is a strangely sacred act. You keep one eye on the ration book as you boil water and slice up last year's soap into sad little slivers. The government encourages every household to stretch supplies, even issuing guidelines on how to safely reuse wash water. You follow the rules, though you suspect it's just making you smell like cabbage. Outside, women work in munitions factories. Their uniforms pass through your hands now, all soot-streaked yellow from TNT, earning them the nickname Canary Girls. Historians still argue whether those yellow-stained uniforms were a badge of honor or a symbol of how expendable these women were. You fold them anyway, careful not to shake off too much of the dust. Your fingers have grown smarter. They know how to smooth wool so it lays flat, how to press a crease with the edge of a pewter mug. There's no time to waste. The folding must continue. Fold the shirts, fold the fear, fold the future. Every stack you make is a small fortress against chaos. And now for the butter. Yes, butter. In some towns, women softened their hands after washing with leftover churned butter or goose fat. Not glamorous, but it worked. Your palms glisten with it now. Strangely comforting. Smells like desperation and dinner at the same time. You fold the baby's swaddling cloth. The baby's asleep in a dresser drawer because the crib was donated for scrap wood. You fold a silk scarf the mother refuses to wear now, too bright, too hopeful. You refold it just to have something soft in your hands. Fold, fold, fold. And then the letters come. Thin envelopes, creamy paper, unfamiliar stamps. They sit on the folded stacks like ghosts. You never open them. That's not your place. But you fold the uniforms differently that day. Slower, with a tremble. You lay them gently in the drawers like you're tucking in someone already gone. There's a fringe story whispered by a neighbor, a superstition, really. Fold clothes in silence and no bad news will come. Fold and hum, and the men will return home. Fold with a prayer stitched into your thoughts, and fate will soften just a little. You hum as you fold. It's not pretty, but it's sincere. You try not to look at the photo frames missing from the mantel. The kitchen clock ticks like a metronome of mourning. You fold a pair of trousers still damp in the seams and wonder who will wear them next. The younger son's coat no longer smells of ink and candy. It smells like stored time. You brush it clean, fold it slowly, then tuck it away like a secret. The iron finally arrives, a gas-powered one, hissing faintly like it has opinions. You burn yourself twice before you figure out its rhythm. Once you master it, you press folds into the garments like you're branding them with love. Your favorite trick? Folding napkins into tiny ships. The children laugh. You smile like it doesn't ache. At night, your hands twitch in your sleep, still folding ghost linen in dreams. You wake up and check the window. No telegram. Not today. You reheat tea and start again. Sometimes you fold laundry just for the comfort of it, wrinkle something, then make it right. Other times you invent reasons to do it. You fold bed sheets you haven't washed just for the illusion of tidiness. Folded things seem less tragic. A scholar might say laundry became emotional labor during wartime, a quiet defiance, a routine in a world gone mad. Historians debate this naturally. Some argue it was merely necessity. Others believe it was an unsung ritual of survival. You believe both. You fold the master's dress shirt and pause. The starch cracks under your fingers. You imagine him at a dinner party, pretending the world isn't breaking. You fold his cuffs inward, tighter, tighter, as if you could fold the smug right out of him. The baby stirs. You whisper a lullaby and fold a bib, creased from use. There's a gentle sadness in its faded teddy bears. You smile at the absurdity. War outside, teddy bears inside. Folding laundry becomes a kind of magic trick, the illusion that everything is okay. You finish with the dish towels. Frayed edges, grease stains that laugh at soap. You fold them anyway. There's dignity in the attempt. Then you make a small tower of folded linens. It leans slightly left, like it's tired too. You press your palm on top to steady it. It reminds you of tombstones. You push the thought away. The fire crackles low. You breathe. You sit. Your hands rest on your knees, faintly trembling. The night is quiet, unnaturally so. You can't tell if that's a comfort or a warning. Still, you've folded for hours, and somehow the weight of the world feels half a pound lighter. Tomorrow, you'll do it again.
You open your eyes, and it's 1927. Jazz slinks in from the next room, brassy, unpredictable. You're still folding laundry, but now it's in a sunlit apartment perched above a bustling city street. Outside, a Model T sputters past as someone hawks newspapers with headlines about Lindbergh's flight or the stock market boom. You press a warm, fresh blouse to your cheek and inhale the scent of lavender sachets and optimism. The laundry is cleaner now, almost smug about it. Detergents are better. Washing tubs are deeper, and the hand-cranked wringer is your new partner in domestic crime. You crank it like a slot machine, hoping the sheets come out lucky. The towels are thicker. The underwear has elastic. And your hands? Still calloused, but less so. Less scrub, more fold. You have a wash day, a ritual carved into your week like gospel. Monday means laundry, no exceptions. It's a badge of pride. You hum Ain't Misbehavin' while folding your husband's suspenders into neat spirals. The radio crackles in the background, announcing some senator's scandal or a new toothpaste miracle. You don't hear it. You're too focused on corners lining up just right. Fold the linens first, always. There's a rhythm to it now. You pinch and smooth, crease and stack. It's become choreography. Fold one, flip, fold again, stack, rotate, move on. The ironing board is your stage, and you're performing a quiet ballet with starch and cotton. Then your neighbor bursts in, unannounced, carrying her laundry and her worries. She's halfway through a sentence before her coat hits the peg. This is how things go now. Women folding together, gossiping, laughing, trading vinegar hacks and love complaints. Folding becomes social, even glamorous in its way. There's talk of silent films and flapper skirts. One of you wonders aloud if silk stockings will ever be affordable. The other folds a men's handkerchief into a perfect square and murmurs, "Not for women like us." You all nod like philosophers. Some scholars still debate how far women's independence went in the 20s. Sure, you could vote now, but your laundry pile didn't shrink. Some say the freedom was real. Others argue it was just painted gold. You say it's both. You can fold a blouse and curse the patriarchy in the same breath. You've done it. Now you're folding a girdle. You hate the thing. It snaps when you touch it. It lies to women. Still, you fold it carefully, out of some misplaced respect for its effort. You remember a fringe tip you read in Ladies' Home Journal. Iron your husband's collars with a splash of gin to soften the starch. You tried it once. He didn't notice, but the dog sneezed for an hour. You laugh about it now, folding his neckties into tired little coils. Kids come home from school. Their books thump on the table. You fold their uniforms next, fingers tracing the buttons they'll fidget with during math. You smooth each wrinkle like a spell. Be brave, be smart, come home safe. Your daughter announces she wants to be an aviator. You smile and fold her scarf tighter. You hear stories now, girls bobbing their hair and dancing alone in bars, earning paychecks, sewing their own destiny. You fold their freedom into every hem. And now, a quirky little fact for your trouble. Some wealthier homes sent their laundry to Chinese laundries popping up across towns. Immigrant-run, efficient, and meticulous, though they were often targets of suspicion and prejudice. Folding could be political, even then. You think about that as you gently stack a customer's order, a white blouse, embroidered napkins, and a note saying, "Thank you, Miss Liang." It's getting dark. You light a lamp, lean back, and stare at the folded mountains around you. You've conquered a dozen kingdoms of fabric, but there's more. There's always more. A knotted brassiere taunts you. You sigh, untangle it, and fold it into a tiny fabric taco. Somewhere a neighbor sings lullabies in a language you don't know. You hum along anyway. You take a moment, just one. You run your thumb across a folded tea towel and remember your mother doing the same thing years ago. The same motion, the same weariness, the same inexplicable pride. Folding laundry in 1927 is no longer just survival. It's about rhythm, ritual, rebellion. It's a moment of grace between chaos. You fold the last sock. You stretch your back. You pause. Then you go to the window and look out. Below, people bustle like bees, horns honk. A record plays faintly across the alley. You smile, because tomorrow, you'll fold again.
You blink, and it's 1943. Laundry waits, but now it's war-stained. You're folding uniforms, rationed socks, and blackout curtains, while the world around you pulses with sirens and sacrifice. The air smells faintly of soap and metal. You're no longer in a quiet home. No, now you're in the middle of a nation on edge. And laundry? It's still here, unmoved, as constant as the moon. You're folding in silence when the radio crackles. London under attack again last night. You don't flinch. You tuck a pair of khaki trousers into thirds and stack them beside a pile of olive drab. Somewhere across the Atlantic, that same pair may end up covered in dust, blood, or heroism. Wartime folding is different. You conserve everything: detergent, water, patience. You patch what you can and you wash things fewer times, maybe too few times. You have a bucket and a washboard. And your soap? It's powdered and rationed. You stretch it like hope. The shirts you fold are stiffer. They're regulation issue, no silk, no lace. Just cotton strong enough to survive a foxhole or a ration line. You iron them with the same resolve you used to carry on. Even the way you fold changes. Tighter, neater, like you're bracing the fabric for its next battle. Historians still argue whether homefront women were truly appreciated for their wartime contributions or just temporarily tolerated. You feel like a cog in the war machine sometimes, but you also feel proud. Like maybe folding this one undershirt just right could make some boy out there feel more human, more remembered. You work in shifts now, not just at home. You've taken a job, maybe in a munitions plant, maybe at a hospital, maybe rolling bandages in a church basement with a line of stoic women whose laughter sounds like courage. And then you come home and fold. Laundry never went off to war. It stayed, grew, waited. Your kid brother writes from France. You read his letters twice and press them flat on the ironing board like sacred documents. Then you fold his last shirt, worn thin, edges frayed, and store it in the cedar chest. You don't cry. You hum, "Don't sit under the apple tree," and fold. Meanwhile, your neighbor installs a pulley system in the backyard to hang laundry higher and faster. She calls it the Widowmaker, which sounds dramatic until you nearly fall off your stool trying to hang sheets. You survive, the sheets don't. Here's a quirky tidbit. Some women during wartime used newspapers to wrap wet laundry before ironing, hoping to conserve electricity. The ink sometimes transferred to the fabric, leaving ghostly headlines behind. You once ironed a bedsheet and left "Nazis Advance" stamped across it. You flipped it upside down and slept on it anyway. The fabrics have changed too. Rayons and synthetics begin to show up, like foreign guests at a dinner party. They behave differently. Slippery, quick to scorch. You mutter at them like untrained dogs. But you learn their ways. You fold them cool. Your daughter folds with you now. She's 9. She insists on folding the washcloths because they're the smallest and the fastest. You let her. She's terrible at it. You refold them when she's not looking. You hear air raid sirens in your dreams. You wake up, folding. You go to church, you sing, you fold your white gloves afterward and tuck them into the drawer beside your best handkerchief. Folding becomes a way to control the uncontrollable, to believe in neat endings. And still, the war rages on. You meet a woman whose son was drafted at 17. She folds his baby clothes every week just to remember the size of him. You don't ask questions. You hand her a warm towel and sit beside her until her hands stop shaking. You see a notice in the paper. Victory laundry drive. Donations needed. You gather what you can spare, fold them lovingly, and send them off in a box with your return address neatly handwritten. A historian later calls it domestic resistance. You just call it folding. On Sundays, you fold church linens with older women who smell like rosewater and peppermint. They gossip in low voices, sharing news about who's pregnant, who's left town, and who's never coming back. One of them, Mrs. Dunbar, shows you how to fold a fitted sheet. It's a dark art, passed down in whispers and shadows. She folds it into a perfect rectangle with 4 swift motions. You blink, she winks. Now it's your turn, she says. You never forget it. The world feels like it's splitting open some days. But your hands are steady. You press and smooth and fold until the chaos hushes a bit. Not maybe outside, but inside. You light a candle one night while folding socks. The light flickers over each pair like a blessing. You match them carefully, as if each one's survival depends on the right partner. You smile at the thought. Then, peace. War ends, people cheer, flags fly, but you keep folding because now there's more laundry, more children, more soldiers coming home with duffel bags full of rumpled pasts. You fold their uniforms with reverence. You fold the future into every hem. The year is 1956, and you're folding pastel hand towels to the rhythm of Elvis Presley's Heartbreak Hotel echoing softly from the kitchen radio. Laundry still hasn't taken a vacation. If anything, it's expanded, like your growing brood of children, like the suburbs themselves, stretching out across the nation, grassy and neat, with white fences and precisely folded linens tucked into drawers behind every smiling front door. You're in your new ranch-style house now, with a laundry nook, not a room, just a nook, with its own humming twin deities, the washer and the dryer. The washer swirls like a storm, and the dryer roars like a lion, but spits out clothes warm and soft, like magic. You run your fingers over freshly dried flannel, and it's like petting the future. These machines? They're new to you. The manual is a novella in itself. Your mother thinks they're unnecessary. Folding's only satisfying when you've earned it with a washboard, she insists. But your back disagrees. So you compromise. Some weeks you hand wash your delicates just to feel connected to the struggle. This era is shiny. Folding happens beneath fluorescent kitchen lights while casseroles bubble. You fold school uniforms with pleats like origami and delicate collars you starch to an almost supernatural crispness. You fold after PTA meetings. You fold while watching I Love Lucy. You fold through Tupperware parties, vacuum salesmen, and the launch of Sputnik. Yes, Soviets may have breached the sky, but they've yet to master your sock drawer organization. A mainstream historical fact for you, in 1953, General Electric released one of the first top-loading automatic washing machines with an integrated spin cycle. It was revolutionary, and by revolutionary, we mean your laundry now had fewer reasons to drip all over your hardwood floors. Folding becomes smoother. The fabric is softer. Synthetic blends like nylon and polyester march into your closet with promises of wrinkle resistance and color fastness. You're skeptical at first. Fabric that doesn't wrinkle feels like cheating. But eventually, you fold these newcomers just like the old cotton standbys, even if they sound like raincoats during a summer storm. And yes, the smells change. Your laundry now smells of spring breeze or mountain mist thanks to the rise of scented dryer sheets. You line them up in your laundry cabinet like weapons in an olfactory war. Every shirt you fold smells of optimism and carefully engineered nostalgia. But not everything is shiny and smooth. Sometimes, folding is your escape. When the house feels small and the silence after the kids go to bed stretches too wide, you fold pillowcases like they hold secrets. You smooth the corners, press your hands flat, and think about the things you don't say aloud. Your husband snores in the next room. You fold a shirt you wish he noticed you wearing. You notice things he doesn't, like how your youngest folds his socks inside out and hides them under the bed, or how your eldest, who just turned 12, has started folding her own bras, awkwardly, hurriedly, as though handling a strange animal. Folding becomes a ritual. You pass it on without thinking. Shake it first, you tell your daughter as she dangles a damp blouse. Snap the corners, lay it flat. She rolls her eyes but follows your hands like choreography. You realize, in that moment, you're part of a lineage, mothers teaching daughters how to wrestle chaos into rectangles. Here's a quirky fact. In the 50s, some housewives used ironing spray made from diluted vodka. Apparently, it stiffened fabric without scorching it. You try it once and feel a little rebellious, even tipsy. You whisper to the shirt, "Cheers," and fold it with more flair than necessary. But the societal fabric around you is taut. You're expected to smile more than you speak, to host, to bake, to parent in heels, and to fold the napkins just so. Historians still argue whether the 50s housewife archetype was a post-war retreat into conformity or a quiet rebellion of grace under pressure. You feel a little of both. You suspect a lot of women do. You fold protest into your linens. One night, you write your name, just your name, inside your favorite blouse, right along the hem. You fold it, place it at the top of your drawer, and smile. It's yours. All yours. There are foldable rebellions like this everywhere now. Like the neighbor who hangs her bras from the front porch despite neighborhood gossip, or your cousin Jean who got a job folding papers at the town press office and refused to quit after her wedding. You cheer for her silently, folding her engagement announcement into the family scrapbook. Your daughter grows up, starts folding her own laundry. She experiments with stack rolls, a method she learned in home ec. You let her, watch her spin t-shirts into tight sushi rolls and tuck them like tiny scrolls into her drawer. More space efficient, less wrinkling, she says. You admire her innovation, then quietly redo the drawer after she leaves. On Sundays, the church picnic fills with baskets of gingham and gossip. You bring tablecloths, white with red embroidery, that you ironed and folded just the day before. A woman from 3 pews over compliments you. So crisp. It's the kind of praise that sticks, better than any sermon. You begin to realize that folding is an unspoken language, a way of saying, I care, I see you, I made this tidy because you matter. You fold for your children, your partner, your elderly aunt who sends handkerchiefs in the mail, folded already, as though she anticipates you'll love them too. You do. One day, you open your linen closet and just stare at stacks of towels arranged like art, at color-coded washcloths, at pillowcases folded with such precision they could be blueprints. You think, this is how I've measured time, one fold at a time. And as rock and roll rises, and civil rights stir the streets, and the quiet turns restless, you keep folding. You fold with more purpose now. The world is changing, but the feel of a clean cotton undershirt beneath your palms still tells you everything's all right. For a moment.
You wake to the scent of coffee and the faint buzz of a washing machine downstairs. It's 1968 now, and your laundry has started to dress differently. Tie-dye t-shirts, bell-bottom jeans, army jackets with peace signs stitched into the fabric. Your children are growing up fast, too fast, and now you're folding protest as much as pajamas. You sit cross-legged on your shag rug, folding clothes into stacks with colors that seem louder than your mother ever would have allowed. Orange and turquoise clash like teenage tempers. Your son leaves his shirts inside out every time. You wonder if it's a message. Folding laundry used to mean keeping the home quiet. Now it feels like organizing chaos. The television hums in the background. Walter Cronkite reporting war, protests, assassinations. You fold while Kennedy's funeral replays in grainy black and white. You smooth your daughter's denim jacket, fingers pausing on the fringe. She embroidered a sunflower near the shoulder. It's not just fashion, it's a feeling stitched into cotton. Here's your mainstream historical fact. In 1965, the first permanent press fabric was patented. No more ironing? That was the promise. Of course, the reality was slightly wrinklier. But it changed the game. Wrinkle-resistant pants let your husband sleep 12 minutes longer before work. He still thanks you as if you invented the fabric. You think about time differently now. Folding becomes meditative. Your mother is older, and now you fold her laundry when you visit. Faded slips, cardigans that smell like rose lotion. You realize you're caring for her the way she once cared for you. It's a strange symmetry. She folds slower now, hands stiff, but she still insists on finishing her corner of the basket. You let her. Your husband reads the paper, lips pursed. He doesn't talk much about the news, just asks where his socks went. You fold them carefully, pair by pair. Then you fold your son's draft notice and tuck it away in a drawer, like if you fold it tightly enough, it might disappear. A quirky fact for your pile. In the late 60s, Sears sold washing machines with psychedelic print covers to match the era's vibrant style. Customers could choose between paisley, tie-dye, or even celestial moons. Your neighbor had the moon one. She called it her space-age spin machine. You wish your laundry could escape gravity. Sometimes your kids help with folding. Sometimes they vanish for hours listening to Janis Joplin records in the basement. When they do help, it's fast and furious. They roll socks like burritos, ball up towels like dough. You gently redo their work later, but you never say anything. You don't want to discourage the effort. Folding is your peace treaty. Historians still argue whether the domestic rituals of the 1960s were a coping mechanism for women's suppressed ambitions or quiet strongholds of agency. You suspect it's both. When your daughter talks about going to college instead of settling down, you beam. Then you fold her laundry into a suitcase and cry in the linen closet afterward. You try to keep things just so, but your world won't stay folded. The edges keep coming undone. One day, your youngest comes home with a new shirt, pink, sheer, with sleeves like wings. You don't say anything as you fold it, but you feel like you're learning a new language, one fabric at a time. She's showing you who she is through what she wears. You answer in return by folding that shirt with care, tucking it neatly in her drawer, lavender sachet and all. Your routines shift. Folding moves from the kitchen nook to the new dedicated laundry room your husband installed. It has a window now. You like to stand there with a warm towel in your hands and watch the maple trees outside sway in the wind. You keep notes now, small slips tucked in drawers with reminders, bleach whites, delicates equals cold wash only. But secretly, you start labeling emotions. This blouse equals first interview. These socks equals broken heart. Laundry becomes a diary in cotton. There's music now, too. Folding happens to the Beatles, then Simon and Garfunkel, then something your kids call psychedelic soul. You try folding to Jimi Hendrix once. It makes the underwear feel revolutionary. You go back to Carole King. Your linen closet becomes a little chaotic. You blame the new sheets, polycotton blends that slide against each other like eels. You fold them 3 times, they still explode out like confetti. You sigh, refold, again and again. It's okay. You're used to repetition. Folding is something that always needs redoing, like dinner, like parenting, like mending the seams between generations. One evening, your daughter asks if she can do her own laundry. You hesitate, then nod. She pours too much detergent, forgets to separate colors. Her red shirt bleeds into her favorite blouse. She cries. You offer to help fold it anyway, the new pink hue, a reminder that not everything can be controlled. You whisper, "It's still beautiful," as you smooth the seams. She believes you, for now. You keep folding. Your hands know every corner of your home, every fitted sheet with a rogue elastic, every tea towel with a stubborn stain. You're part of a silent army of folders across the country. You imagine them, thousands of women standing beside dryers, shaking out jeans, snapping wrinkles into submission. The rhythm of folding feels like prayer, and you don't need an altar, just a laundry basket. Your son comes home from Vietnam, silent, older. You fold his uniform in private, fingers trembling. You never ask him about it, he never offers. Folding becomes a way to keep touching what words can't. You pass your folding wisdom down quietly. No lectures, just motion. Towel corners should meet. T-shirts roll from the hem. They catch on. They fold in their own ways, invent new systems. You smile. You don't correct them. Not anymore. Folding becomes less about perfection, more about presence. Each crease is a moment spent. Each corner matched, a silent offering. And as the 70s loom with disco lights and avocado green appliances, you finish your last load of the decade. You fold a polyester blouse with sequins. You press the final corner flat, and you breathe.
You're in the 1970s now, and folding laundry starts to feel like time travel. The fabrics have changed. The music has changed. Even the smell of detergent is louder. Spring Burst now smells like fruit punch with attitude. The whole house vibrates with disco, and your laundry basket begins to collect polyester jumpsuits, wrap dresses, and socks with glitter threads. And yes, somehow your kids have both joined a roller skating club. You're folding sequined leotards and knee-high striped socks. You sigh, half laughing. It's a long way from the woolen socks you once darned during wartime. Your oldest is out of the house now, moved to the city with a lava lamp and 2 suitcases, one of which you packed, carefully folding her dreams between folded denim and 3 bralettes she insisted you not look at too long. You still cry a little in the laundry room sometimes, cradling one of her old band tees like it's a relic. Here's your mainstream historical fact. In 1971, the first home washer-dryer combo hit the mainstream U.S. market. All in one, just load and forget. Except, of course, it wasn't that simple. These newfangled machines were temperamental, often overheating and swallowing socks like coins in a couch cushion. You bought one anyway. The future had a buzz to it, like you were finally moving faster than time, or maybe just catching up. Either way, you kept folding. By now, your body moves through the steps without thinking. Laundry goes in, warm breath of steam, the great sheet flap in the living room. Fold once, turn, tuck, stack. Your hands are experts. They could fold a fitted sheet in a blackout, blindfolded, upside down. You dream in quarters.
Your quirky tidbit: in 1975, a woman in New Jersey broke a regional radio contest record by folding 97 towels in 10 minutes. You read about it in the paper. Your neighbor scoffed, said, "That's just Tuesday," while folding her own mountain of toddler bibs. The competitive spirit of folding, you didn't realize it was a thing. But in your own way, you get it. There's pride in the neatness. There's comfort in control. And speaking of control, the 1970s bring feminism to the front steps of your house. You subscribe to MS Magazine. You keep it next to the dryer, secretly thumbing through between folding loads. The articles make you sit taller, think deeper. They also make you question why laundry still feels like your unassigned, unpaid destiny. You don't have all the answers, but you do have an apron that says, "A woman's place is in the revolution and also maybe folding socks." You wear it ironically, mostly. Historians still argue whether domestic work in the 1970s was a sign of tradition resisting change or a space where feminist rebellion quietly festered. You suspect it's both. Folding laundry gives you time to think, and you think a lot. The kids return home occasionally, laundry sacks over their shoulders like modern-day Santas. They dump everything: mismatched socks, beer-scented t-shirts, mysterious black jeans that may or may not be clean. You fold it all. You don't ask questions. But they stay and chat while you work, and that, somehow, makes it worth it. One night your youngest brings her friend home. Tall, loud laugh, soft eyes. You're not sure if it's just a friend. You fold their jacket next to your child's and decide it doesn't matter. The two belong in the same drawer. They help you fold. Badly. You smile anyway. Folding has become relational, a way to sit beside someone and talk without looking directly at them. Hands busy, hearts open, conversations that wouldn't happen across a dinner table somehow spill out between creases in the fabric. You start keeping a special laundry playlist, vinyl to cassette, then an actual radio show you love. You fold to the Bee Gees, then Fleetwood Mac, and the towels start dancing too. Sometimes you host wine and fold nights with your sisters or friends. It becomes a thing, a rhythm of gossip and giggles. Fold one, sip two, the laundry gets a little wrinkled, nobody cares. You learn to laugh at yourself more. One summer afternoon your dryer stops spinning. Smoke, panic, socks like wilted ghosts. You unplug it and call your neighbor's teenage son. He fixes it in 15 minutes. You pay him with cookies and ask him if he folds his own shirts. He says no. You're not surprised. You hold a class, Folding 101. He and your youngest attend. We start with pillowcases. They laugh the whole time. But they remember. Later that year, you get your first microwave. Now everything in the house heats up faster, but you still fold slow. You notice your body slowing down too. Knees popping, shoulders catching, a gentle groan when you lift the wet clothes. Folding becomes a stretch, a workout, a dance with limits. But you keep going, because folded laundry feels like order, and you like order. You like making something neat in a world that still isn't. The basket never empties. Just when you fold the last towel, a sock falls from nowhere like a magician's finale. Still, it's yours. And you keep folding. One night during a thunderstorm, the lights flicker out. You light a candle and keep folding by its glow. The power returns, but you don't rush to flip the switch. The flickering light, the smell of rain, the hush, it makes folding feel holy. A quiet ritual. Like prayer in terry cloth. Your family jokes now about your folding skills. They say you're a towel whisperer, that you fold socks so tight they could double as maracas. You take the compliments with a grin. But secretly, you love it. The stacks of laundry become your gallery. You admire them like fine art. Shirts like origami cranes, pants like puzzle pieces, sheets folded into squares so sharp they could slice air. You pass your skills to the grandkids now. They fold shirts like burritos, again. You smile, again. It's a new generation. Same laundry, same love. You fold a polyester disco shirt for your partner and leave a note inside the collar. You still boogie in my dreams. They find it. They blush. You both laugh. You fold pajamas with hearts on them. Yours.
By the time you reach the 1980s, the colors in your laundry pile have turned neon, and the fibers have a new personality. Synthetics now crackle with static like they've got something to say. You try folding leg warmers for the first time and realize there's no right way. They just sort of collapse into themselves, like teenage emotions. The laundry has multiplied again, not by people, but by volume. It seems every shirt comes with matching accessories. Every gym outfit has a backup. Even the socks are louder now, neon green with polka dots, or patterned like arcade screens. You fold them like you're diffusing tiny fashion bombs. Mainstream historical fact time. In 1983, the first compact, energy-efficient washers and dryers became widespread in American households. Smaller, sleeker, a little sexier, just like the technology boom itself. Washing clothes felt more futuristic. You imagine laundry machines talking to each other, flirting in beeps and cycles. You began to whisper to your washer, "Just one more load, sweetheart." You think it blushed. You fold to a new soundtrack now. Cassette tapes, boom boxes, the occasional live Prince concert blasting from the neighbor's house. You hum along as you fold crop tops, acid-wash jeans, and shoulder-padded blouses that feel like folding origami armor. Your daughter has started folding her own laundry. Kind of. Mostly she just leaves it in chaotic piles that she calls organized. You try to respect it. You tell yourself folding is a journey, not a destination. But you still sneak in to straighten her t-shirts when she's out. Historians still argue whether the 1980s home was a battlefield for feminist redefinition or a polished illusion of progress. You, standing there with a basket of bras in one hand and a career in the other, know it's both. You went back to work this decade, part-time, then full-time, and laundry waited for you each night, loyal as ever. You learned to fold at midnight now, whispering lullabies to the dryer so it wouldn't wake the kids. Folding became your unwinding ritual, your quiet defiance. You can have it all. They forgot to mention all includes socks with holes and shirts that shrink mysteriously even on delicate. Your quirky tidbit. In 1987, a Japanese company released the first prototype of a robot designed to sort and fold laundry. It looked like a metal box with arms, and it took 8 minutes to fold one towel. Your 6-year-old niece could beat that time blindfolded. Still, you were intrigued. Meanwhile, your son insisted on only wearing one brand of jeans. You folded them with reverence, like denim scrolls. His shirts came back stained with ketchup, marker, and once, mysteriously, glitter. You never asked. Folding became a decoding ritual. Each shirt a clue, each sock a diary entry. You found crumpled notes in hoodie pockets, love letters, half-written songs, class schedules. Once a frog. It hopped out. You screamed. Everyone laughed. You folded with gloves after that. Your partner now does laundry too. Sometimes. They learn from watching you, though they still fold towels like they're making angry paper airplanes. But it's effort, it's love, so you let it go. You taught your kids the power of the fitted sheet tuck, the triple fold for maximum drawer efficiency. You made diagrams, laminated them. Your daughter rolled her eyes and used hers as a coaster. You wept silently and folded her hoodie with extra tenderness. And don't forget fashion. Oh, the clothes, hammer pants, jelly shoes, mesh. You folded mesh shirts so gently you feared they might disintegrate if handled too quickly. You had a system. Mesh got sandwiched between cotton layers, your little laundry sandwich of protection. You noticed laundry detergent now comes in bright pink bottles, tropical rainstorm, electric berry, citrus blitz. They smell like a smoothie stand got electrocuted. You missed the simple lavender of your youth. But you adapt. You always do. You hold laundry fighting ceremonies now. Candles, soft towels, deep breaths. You teach your niece how to fold underwear into tiny triangles. She asks why. You say, because small things still deserve dignity. She nods solemnly. The dryer breaks again. You air dry for 2 weeks and start whispering your complaints to the clothesline like it's a therapist. The wind replies, "Fold it anyway." The family grows. Cousins come and go, nieces and nephews. Sleepovers, birthdays, chaos. Laundry balloons into a monster you tame with your bare hands and a playlist of synth-pop classics.
You fold a jacket for your sister. She's just been through something hard. Divorce, heartbreak. She says folding calms her, so you fold together. No talking, just sleeves tucked into hearts. Your hands are older now. A few cracks, a few hesitations, but stronger too. There's muscle memory here, centuries of it. Matriarchs passed it down without words. You feel them biting your fingers, smoothing, creasing, stacking. Your son leaves for college. You pack his suitcase, fold each item with ridiculous precision. He says, "It's just laundry, Mom." You say nothing. But you fold his last shirt twice, for luck. Folding becomes your offering, your way of staying close. The house is quieter now. Fewer shirts, fewer towels. You miss the chaos. You start folding slower, lingering, making each crease count. You sit outside with a basket and the dog. You fold under trees, under clouds, under a world that still doesn't understand how much love fits inside a pillowcase. Your neighbor passes by and says, "You're still folding laundry?" You smile and say, "It folds me too."
You wake up one morning in the early 1990s and realize that laundry is now multimedia. There's a CD player in the laundry room. You fold with headphones on, letting the new sounds of Nirvana and Mariah Carey smooth out the wrinkles of another Tuesday. Folding becomes an act of quiet rebellion against the clutter, the noise, the slow creep of modernity encroaching on your Sunday peace. You're folding for fewer people now, but the loads haven't shrunk. The clothes have just gotten more complicated. Everything has logos, pockets inside of pockets, tags longer than the sleeves, washing instructions that read like poetry. Machine wash cold, tumble dry low, do not wring your soul. And you obey. You've always obeyed. Mainstream historical fact. In 1994, the first smart washing machine hit the market. It could detect load size, fabric type, even soil levels. You named yours Susan and gave her a magnet on the side that said, "Queen of Clean." Susan never judged. Susan never sighed when you forgot to remove the lint. Susan just beeped, supportively. Your folding becomes faster, your corners sharper. You've streamlined the art of folding boxer shorts into perfect squares. Your towels are small sculptures. You make pyramids of them in the closet. You start seeing a symbolism in socks. One's always missing, like people in your life, old friends, your first dog. The way your childhood blanket disappeared one spring and your mother swore it had gone to help someone else. You didn't believe her. But now, folding socks alone, you understand. Your partner folds more now. You've trained them, finally. Their t-shirt folding still resembles modern art more than order, but you admire the effort. Sometimes you redo it, quietly, without malice. You fold while watching VHS tapes of your children's early birthdays. There they are, running in mismatched socks you remember folding 15 years ago. You can almost feel their threadbare texture. You miss those socks. And that's the secret, isn't it? It was never the laundry. It was the people in the clothes. You press your cheek to a just-washed hoodie. Your daughter's scent still lingers. Laundry day hero. You don't ask questions anymore. You just fold.
The detergent companies begin advertising pods. You distrust them. You try them. You fall in love. They smell like hope and sea breeze. You buy them in bulk. You hide some from your partner. You meet other laundry folder folk. At church, at the library. Online forums called things like Foldology and Sock Scholars. You find your people. You exchange folding hacks. You feel seen. Your hands ache more these days. The folds are slower, but each one holds.
You're folding laundry in the year 2001 when the world shifts under your feet. There's static on the radio, then silence. The news is grim, the future uncertain, and suddenly, even the act of folding socks feels a little like holding your breath. You press your fingers into cotton and denim and terry cloth as if the fabric might answer back, might explain how everything can keep going when nothing makes sense. But laundry doesn't stop, never has, never will. Shirts still crumple, towels still absorb. You fold not because the world is okay, but because it isn't. You trudge through the decade with the quiet resistance of someone who's always believed in warm clothes, neat drawers, and a little order in a chaotic universe. Mainstream historical fact: in the early 2000s, America saw a sharp rise in two-income households and a boom in professional laundry services. Laundry became a business model, an errand to be outsourced. You try it once. They mix your delicates with someone's gym socks. You never go back. Your home becomes your fold zone. You reclaim it. You start folding in batches. You assign themes. Warm things Tuesday, all socks Thursday, t-shirts only, but no regrets Saturday. It helps. It's fun. You're turning drudgery into a kind of spiritual discipline. Quirky tidbit: a Japanese TV program in 2004 featured a national folding competition. Speed, precision, elegance. The reigning champion folded a dress shirt blindfolded in under 12 seconds. You watch it online and gasp out loud. You try it yourself. You poke your own eye. You decide to leave that kind of glory to the professionals. Meanwhile, your child, now grown, is living out of a suitcase somewhere between internships and heartbreak. You get the occasional bag of laundry when they visit. You don't mind. You always include a handwritten note in the folded pile: "I love you enough to fold your socks." Historians still argue whether the rise of convenience culture and digital lifestyles in the 2000s eroded domestic skills or merely gave them new forms. You argue back by hand-pressing a pillowcase with lavender water. You buy a steam iron with 12 settings. You use 2. You love both. You fold between news alerts and Google searches. You fold while ordering groceries online. The laundry room becomes your bunker, your mindfulness corner. You add a little shelf for candles. You never light them, but they look serene. Your partner gifts you a hoodie with the words "Folder-in-Chief" across the back. You wear it while folding, and only while folding. It's your uniform, your badge of honor. One day, a neighbor knocks. They've heard, somehow, that you're good at folding. They bring over a basket, looking sheepish. You accept it. You fold everything while watching a nature documentary narrated by David Attenborough. Your folds take on a meditative grace, like whale song and fabric form. The neighbor cries when they see the result. "I didn't know laundry could feel like love," they whisper. You nod. You did. You keep a small notebook now. Inside, you're folding wisdom, tips, tricks, philosophies. Page 1 reads, "Fold with intention, not speed." Page 2, "Never stack socks too tight, they need to breathe." Page 3 is blank, for what you'll learn tomorrow. You start folding heirlooms: the blanket your mother crocheted in the 80s, the apron from your first apartment, a napkin from a disastrous Thanksgiving where everyone cried, but no one left. You fold these not because they need it, but because it makes them feel remembered. You relearn how to fold fitted sheets. YouTube says it's possible. You try. You curse a little. You get close. It's not perfect, but it lies flatter now. Good enough to fool a guest. Good enough for peace. You teach your grandniece how to fold a shirt. She laughs, folds it inside out, and wears it anyway. You let her. Style matters less than presence. You start folding more for donation. Blankets, sweaters, coats. You think about how each one will wrap around someone you'll never meet. You whisper little blessings into each fold. You pretend the fabric carries your words. It probably doesn't. But it might. The laundry room becomes your sanctuary. You decorate it. A tiny lamp, a fake fern, a framed sign that reads, "Wrinkle not, lest ye be wrinkled." It makes you giggle every time. You create a playlist called Fold and Flow. It includes jazz, rain sounds, and one rogue ABBA track you refuse to delete. Your folding slows, not from fatigue, but from reverence. You smooth every crease. You straighten every collar. You hold each item like it has a backstory, and it does. You fold your old uniform, the one from your first job. You run your thumb over the stitched name tag. The fabric is faded, but the name is still bold. It's still yours. You start telling stories through laundry. This towel saw my kid's first steps. This t-shirt survived 6 road trips and 2 breakups. Your friends roll their eyes, but they listen. You're a curator of cloth history. You fold in silence sometimes. No music, no podcasts, just the whisper of fabric, the rustle of cotton, the hush of routine. It's enough. You try folding in the dark once, just for fun. It's weirdly calming. The folds are looser, but they feel honest. You consider writing a book, Zen and the Art of Sock Folding. You don't, but you design the cover in your head. It's beautiful. You try one of those new scent beads. It smells like a meadow. You don't like meadows. You go back to lavender. You wash your own baby clothes. You found them in a box in the attic. You fold them carefully, like they're museum pieces. You cry a little. That's okay. By the end of the 2000s, your folding is less about function and more about memory. Your stacks are taller, your heart a little fuller, your wrists a little stiffer. But your soul, soft as fleece. You keep folding. Because some people write love letters. You wrap yours in fabric.
You are folding laundry as the 2010s roll in, and suddenly everything is smart. Smart homes, smart TVs, smart socks, apparently. You glance at your humble laundry pile and whisper, "Don't worry, you're smart enough." Your laundry room now has a smart washer with 15 settings and a tiny screen that talks back. You still just use the normal cycle. You pretend you know what eco bubble wash is. You don't. No one does. It just sounds nice. Mainstream historical fact. By 2013, over 40% of American households had adopted high-efficiency washers and dryers. It's all about using less water, less energy, more buttons. You like the idea. You miss the old chug 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 noise, though. Progress always takes a little nostalgia with it. You fold a set of pajamas that smells like your youngest grandchild. You pause and smile. That laundry pile is where baby wipes and board books met espresso stains and overdue emails. It's all right there, creased between a hand towel and a superhero cape. You start organizing your clothes by color, then by fabric, then by emotional vibe. Your partner says it's getting out of hand. You say it's laundry therapy. Quirky tidbit. In 2016, a Japanese company created a robot named Laundroid that could fold shirts. It cost $16,000 and folded one item every 3 to 5 minutes. You imagine telling it, "I love you," then waiting 20 minutes for your socks. You decide maybe the future isn't ready for folding after all. The folding becomes ritual. You light a candle. You play lo-fi beats. You speak to the clothes like old friends. "Hey, softest hoodie, ready for your nap?" Historians still argue whether the rise of automation in the 2010s improved domestic life or slowly erased hands-on connections. You argue silently with your t-shirt pile, carefully tucking in every sleeve. You teach your nephew how to fold a shirt using the 2-second pinch trick you learned on YouTube. He messes it up 6 times and nails it the 7th. You both cheer like it's a game-winning goal. You spend one afternoon folding only blue things. You call it Ocean Day. It feels peaceful. You discover a forgotten sweater at the back of your closet. It smells like a bonfire and peppermint. You don't wash it. You fold it slowly, preserving the scent. Some things are better left exactly as they are. You get a heated blanket for your birthday. You wrap yourself in it while folding. It's like folding clouds while being hugged by a toaster. Highly recommended. You fold for your neighbor when she gets the flu. She leaves a thank you note and a cinnamon roll. You cry into the roll. It's fine. Cinnamon is absorbent. You fold your dog's sweaters. Yes, your dog wears sweaters now. Don't ask.
You try Marie Kondo's folding method. You love it. Everything stands up like tiny soldiers of comfort. You wonder if socks salute each other when you leave the room. You fold and reminisce. This shirt saw me through a divorce. These sheets held 3 generations of sleep. Every crease feels sacred. You host a folding night. Friends come over. You all bring laundry and take turns folding while telling stories. Someone brings wine. Someone else folds a fitted sheet perfectly and gets a round of applause. You visit a laundry museum while on vacation. It has irons from the 1800s and soap made with whale oil. You stare at a hand wringer and whisper, "Thank you for evolving." You fold your child's college hoodie. It smells like cafeteria food and philosophy exams. You fold it like a goodbye and a welcome home all at once. You use dryer balls now. You draw tiny smiley faces on them. They feel like coworkers. You fold under fairy lights strung across the laundry room. Every flicker makes the fabric shimmer. It feels like folding in a dream. You start a folder's journal. Entry number 1. Shirts joyfully deflated today. Entry number 17. Folded one sock inside out. Left it. Let the mystery be. You buy a vintage laundry basket from a thrift store. The handles creak and it smells like grandma's attic. You name it Bessie. You begin narrating your folding process aloud, like a nature documentary. Here we see the elusive bath towel curling gently in its post-wash habitat. Your teenager finds it embarrassing. You keep doing it anyway. You fold, and the years go by. You witness the rise of fast fashion. Cheap, quick, abundant. You try it. The shirts pill. The seams unravel. You go back to folding your older clothes with a little more reverence. They've lasted. They've earned it. You start a rule. Nothing enters the drawer unless it brings you comfort. It's ruthless. It's liberating. You teach a community center workshop, folding as self-care. 5 people show up. One of them brings a blanket that belonged to their great-grandmother. You both cry folding it. You call it the holy napkin. You buy a laundry sign that says, "Life is too short for unmatched socks." You disagree. You think mismatched socks are tiny rebels. You wear them proudly. You learn that in ancient China, people sometimes buried loved ones with clean folded linens as a sign of respect. You start folding with a bit more grace, just in case history is watching. One day, you fold a shirt that belonged to someone you've lost. You smooth it out. You pause. You press your hand flat against the chest. For a moment, you feel like they're still there. It's not magic. It's muscle memory. You teach your youngest grandkid how to fold washcloths. They make a fort out of them. You let them. Forts matter more than folds sometimes. You go to a laundromat during a power outage at home. You meet someone folding perfectly symmetrical underwear. You ask for tips. You become laundry friends. Yes, that's a thing. You discover an old tablecloth in the back of the cabinet. It's stained with spaghetti sauce and celebration. You fold it anyway. You whisper, "Thank you for holding all those meals." You buy yourself a new folding board. It clicks into place like origami. You smile. Technology finally got one right. You celebrate your birthday by folding only your favorite clothes, the VIP pile. Every piece gets a little extra fluff. You fold and breathe. Fold and hum. Fold and live. And through it all, you keep telling yourself, this matters. These fibers, these moments, these folds.
You've been folding laundry for almost a century now, and still each fresh stack feels like a new page. The shirts speak, the towels sigh. The socks occasionally disappear, only to return like they were out on some solo spiritual journey. The 2020s arrive wrapped in uncertainty. A global pandemic unravels life as we know it. Suddenly, everyone's stuck inside with their piles of laundry, and no one can escape it. Folding becomes therapy. Folding becomes survival. Folding becomes the one thing you can control. Mainstream historical fact.
During the early pandemic lockdowns of 2020, sales of home goods like laundry machines spiked worldwide. People weren't just baking sourdough, they were rediscovering the domestic arts. You feel like you've been training your whole life for this. You are the folding oracle now. You teach your neighbors how to fold via Zoom. You prop up your phone with a bottle of detergent and try to show them the perfect t-shirt tuck. It's glitchy. You freeze mid-sleeve, but they laugh and somehow that's enough. Quirky tidbit. In 2022, a company launches Laundry Day subscription boxes, premium laundry scents, foldable gadgets, and motivational folding playlists. One box includes a soap that smells like freshly ironed ambition. You laugh. You also subscribe. Your grandchildren joke that you've reached level 99, Laundry Master. You consider getting a cape, maybe a tiara. You decide a really soft hoodie will do. You start embroidering tiny initials into your clothes, an old-school trick with a future-proof twist. A scarf becomes a legacy. A handkerchief becomes a story. You write a short poem called Ode to the Fitted Sheet. You post it online. It goes modestly viral. One commenter says, "This is exactly how my soul feels after laundry." You feel seen. Historians still argue whether domestic labor was undervalued or simply invisible in the 21st century. You know the truth. Folding clothes isn't small work. It's the constant, quiet weaving of care into fabric, moment after moment. Your grandchildren visit. They can't believe you still fold everything by hand. You say, "The machine washes, but it doesn't listen." You show them how to smooth a shirt from shoulder to hem. They say it feels like magic. You say it feels like remembering. You try a fold-flat closet system with labeled bins: joy, rest, weather, and to be determined. It works. It's weirdly poetic. You accidentally fold a banana peel into one of them. It's fine. You watch a TikTok where someone folds an entire week's wardrobe into a single drawer. You try it. You succeed. You celebrate with a hot drink and a nap. Productivity looks like peace sometimes. You start giving names to your laundry loads. Tuesdays is called Misty Mountain Fog. Thursdays is Citrus and Regret. No one asks, you keep going. You teach your robot vacuum to avoid the laundry piles. It's your territory. It beeps in fear and skirts the edge. You take an old flannel and turn it into a reusable gift wrap. You wrap a book in it and give it to a friend. They cry. You say, "It's just flannel," but it's not. It's love with buttons. You hold a shirt that no longer fits. You thank it. You fold it gently and set it aside for donation. Goodbyes can be soft. You host another folding night. It's themed this time, Laundry of the Lost. Everyone brings something they forgot they owned. You fold. You laugh. Someone folds a Halloween costume into a triangle and declares it origami. You add wind chimes to the laundry room. Every time the dryer beeps, they sing. The room becomes a place of ritual, not chore, a place to breathe. You read that in ancient Egypt, linen was so valuable it was used as currency. You touch your own stack of linens with fresh respect. Somewhere between softness and structure lies quiet wealth. You fold during a thunderstorm. Each boom syncs with your folds. Left sleeve, thunder. Right sleeve, rain. You are folding inside the drumbeat of the world. You fold your partner's favorite sweater. It still smells faintly of them. You pause longer than usual. You fold with reverence. There are folds that are farewells and folds that are homecomings. This one is both. You rewatch an old sitcom where a character folds shirts with chaotic flair. You try it their way. You laugh. You refold it 2 minutes later. Chaos has its limits. You volunteer at a shelter, helping organize clothes. You fold with a team. You fold with purpose. You realize laundry connects us all, rich or poor, stressed or calm, loved or lonely. Everyone folds something, or wishes they could. You press your hands into a pile of freshly laundered towels. The warmth radiates up your arms. It's not just clean, it's charged, like sunlight caught in cotton. You fold holiday napkins with origami flair. Your guests unwrap them like tiny gifts. They think you're fancy. You just think it's fun. You open an old trunk and find your wedding handkerchief, folded just once. You touch it and feel the day all over again. Your knees a little younger, your eyes brighter, your heart the same. You write a note and hide it in a sock. If you find this, you're doing great. You forget about it. 2 years later, you find it. You cry, you laugh, you keep going. You teach your youngest family member how to fold underwear without rolling it into oblivion. They call it grandmaster level. You call it bedtime. You buy lavender sachets and toss them in your drawers. Your laundry smells like a garden now. You open your drawers just to inhale. No shame. You read that in space missions, astronauts wear clothes until they're too gross, then incinerate them. You whisper a soft apology to your socks. You deserve better. You fold in a sunbeam, on a quiet afternoon, surrounded by the hum of machines and the breath of warm fabric. You think, if this is it, it's enough.
You reach the 100-year mark without fanfare. No parade, no confetti in the dryer filter. Just another load waiting, soft, damp, and familiar. You slide your hand into a sleeve and smooth the fabric down like you've done 1,000,000 times before. It fits into your palm like a memory. The scent is clean. Not sterile clean, but home clean. The kind that tugs something loose in your chest and settles it again. Your bones may creak, your eyesight may fuzz, but you've still got your folding rhythm. Left, right, down. A choreography etched into muscle and marrow. Mainstream historical fact. In 2027, scientists at MIT developed self-folding fabric for commercial use. It never caught on. People missed the ritual, missed the feel of the fabric moving through their fingers, missed the control. Technology tried to replace the chore, but it couldn't replicate the care. You remember a great-grandchild trying to surprise you with one of those folding gadgets. It clapped shut like a trap every time you used it. You laughed until your sides ached. It now holds place of honor as a flower stand. Even machines know their place in your house. Quirky tidbit. A small village in Finland hosts an annual speed folding Olympics, complete with judges, capes, and choreographed folding routines to music. You've never gone, but you always watch the live stream and root for the guy with the mullet who folds fitted sheets like battle flags. Historians still argue whether domestic rituals like folding laundry will survive the next technological wave, whether AI will erase not only the work but the meaning behind it, whether we'll be too efficient to feel anything. You don't argue, you just keep folding. A shirt falls open in your lap, soft, oversized, and worn at the collar. It belonged to someone you loved deeply, still do. You run your fingers along the fabric, pausing at the sleeve. That tiny hole they always insisted on patching, you never did. It became their signature. You fold it slowly, tenderly. It becomes a goodbye wrapped in cotton. You're not folding clothes now. You're folding lifetimes. Every towel is a season. Every pair of socks is a memory. Every pillowcase smells like 1993 or maybe just this morning. It's all here. Your entire century. Neatly pressed, lined up in drawers. Your back aches. You move slower now, but you never rush the folds. If anything, you stretch the time. The process comforts you, anchors you. Sometimes you hum as you fold, old songs, ones your mother sang, ones you made up while rocking colicky babies or waiting for a storm to pass. The melodies wrap around you like the clothes themselves. You gift a stack of your perfectly folded handkerchiefs to a neighbor going through a hard time. You tie them with a ribbon, add a card. Because crying is part of living. They hug you. They understand. You still fold for others, a niece away at university, a neighbor recovering from surgery, a friend who's lost someone. You bring them clothes folded just right. It says, I see you. I've got you. You're not alone. You find an old t-shirt with a logo faded into a ghost. It's from a road trip you barely remember, except for the way the rain sounded on the motel roof. You fold it anyway. Some memories don't need clarity. They need warmth. The laundry room becomes your sanctuary, a place of warmth and purpose. You light a candle some days. You hang wind chimes. You keep the floor swept, the detergent lined up like little soldiers. It's not just a room, it's a ceremony. You open your linen closet. Towels, sheets, blankets, all folded with care. They wait for the next sleepover, the next sick day, the next winter storm. You don't just fold for now, you fold for who might need it later. You talk to the laundry sometimes. You again, you say to the pillowcase with the tiny rip. You're holding up, old friend. No one's listening, but also everything is. Your hands have folded through wars, weddings, recessions, pandemics, new jobs, lost loves, burnt dinners, surprise pregnancies, quiet birthdays, and loud silences. A wrinkle here, a snag there. You smooth them with care, not judgment. The dryer hums in the background like a lullaby. The warm air wraps around your knees. You exhale. You lean back. One day you fold the final towel. Not dramatically, just another load, just another moment. You place it on the shelf with quiet satisfaction. This was never about perfection. It was about showing up. It was about folding when the world felt too heavy. It was about finding rhythm when nothing else made sense. It was about love. Always love. Now everything slows. You set the last folded piece gently on its shelf, fabric still warm, corners aligned, the weight of it just right. You linger there, letting your fingers brush across the soft cotton, not to correct a wrinkle, but to feel the softness one more time. The dryer hum fades into the background like an old friend saying goodnight. You let the silence bloom in the room. It's not empty, just calm. You exhale, long and slow. Your hands, still and resting, carry the echoes of 1,000 folds. Your body remembers every twist, every tuck, every breath between clean and done. You think about the years, how each fold held a story, how each wrinkle softened eventually. You close the laundry room door, not to shut anything out, but to keep the warmth inside just a little longer. Outside, the world keeps tumbling on its axis. Emails pile up, clocks tick forward, but here for a moment, everything is still. Whole, loved. You folded your way through 100 years, and tonight the stack is done. No parade, no music, just the quiet satisfaction of something well lived. Now take one last deep breath. Let your shoulders ease back. Let your jaw unclench. Let your eyes get heavy. You've folded enough. Time to rest now. Good night.